So now to Governor Mike Braun's first State of the State address tonight. He focused on lowering costs for Hoosiers, everything from health care to property taxes. But some Democrats skipped tonight's speech. Instead, they held a simultaneous rally opposing the governor's agenda. Our Emily Longnecker shares the main takeaways from the address and the conflict brewing at the Indiana State House.
Well, there weren't any surprises tonight in Governor Braun's first State of the State address. He talked about many of the same topics that he has already addressed in his Freedom and Opportunity agenda. One of those topics, lowering property taxes.
Hoosiers from all over the state told me these tax bills keep rising, but wages aren't keeping up with that pace. This is not sustainable.
Braun said he wants to cut property taxes for new homeowners and seniors, cap annual increases, and reform the system long term. Democratic lawmakers say they agree Hoosiers need property tax relief, but say it shouldn't come at the expense of local services.
Governor Braun says local government can do more with less. But when you're having a heart attack and call 911, do you want the people coming to help you to be doing more with less? Do you want them underfunded? I think no.
In his address, the governor also touched on his plan for lowering health care costs.
Signed several executive orders to pull back the curtain on health care prices, bring down costs.
Governor Braun said that also included audits to find waste and abuse in the state's own health care spending. Senate Republicans have a bill that would cut how much Indiana spends on Medicaid by putting caps on who would be eligible for coverage.
Governor Braun talks about lowering health care costs, but at the same time is threatening to take away the health care coverage that 1 in 3 Hoosiers rely on. I'm talking about Hoosier Care Connect, HIP, Hoosier HealthWise, and all vital health care coverage under Indiana's Medicaid program.
In his address, Governor Braun also expressed support for universal school choice, something Democrats do not support. Noticeably absent in the House chamber, more than a dozen lawmakers, members of the Indiana Black Legislative Caucus. They held a rally on the 4th floor during the governor's address, speaking out against his executive order that eliminates diversity, equity, and inclusion measures from state agencies. Democratic leaders said they supported their colleagues' choice not to attend the governor's address.
Words like diversity, equity, and inclusion, and education around diversity, equity, and inclusion only make our communities stronger.
Republican leaders said they were disappointed.
Well, it's certainly their prerogative to show up or not show up, but it's unfortunate, frankly. We want them at the table. They need to be at the table. We'll do better work with them at the table.
And one moment that brought a standing ovation on both sides of the aisle when Governor Braun announced tonight that Indiana ranks now 6th in the nation in reading, according to the 2024 National Assessment on Education Progress. At the Indiana State House, Emily Longnecker, 13 News.
Now, if you missed any of the governor's State of the State address tonight, we've got you covered. You can watch the entire speech right now over on WTHR Plus, where it is streaming on demand. You can download our free app on Apple TV, Amazon Fire Stick, and Roku.